On Christmas Day 2025, the United States Supreme Court delivered a historic and far-reaching decision that will be remembered for generations to come. In a landmark ruling, the court rejected former President Donald Trump's claim of absolute presidential immunity, a legal argument that had never before been tested at this level. This means, for the first time in American history, a president can be held criminally responsible for acts committed while in office, even if those acts were carried out under the guise of official duties. The ruling sends a clear and powerful message. No one, not even the President of the United States, is above the law or immune from prosecution. The decision has immediate and profound consequences, directly impacting Trump's ongoing criminal cases and setting a precedent that will shape the conduct of all future presidents. The justices were faced with a fundamental and difficult question. Does the presidency shield its holder from criminal prosecution for official acts, or must even the highest office in the land answer to the law? Trump's lawyers argued for total protection, insisting that the president must be free to act without fear of legal consequences. But the court disagreed, fundamentally shifting the balance of power between the executive branch and the rule of law. The ruling reaffirms a core democratic value. Every citizen, including presidents, is accountable for their actions. It underscores that democracy depends on leaders being held to the same standards as the people they serve. The court's opinion clarifies that official duties do not provide a free pass to commit crimes, and that the office of the president cannot be used as a shield against justice. With this decision, federal prosecutors can now move forward with their cases, knowing that the highest court in the land has affirmed their authority. The nation must now reconsider what it truly means to lead within the boundaries of the law and what standards we expect from those in power. The Supreme Court has firmly established that the rule of law applies to the White House, just as it does to every American home. This decision marks a new chapter in American democracy, reminding us all that justice and accountability are the cornerstones of our nation. Presidential immunity is legal protection for actions taken as part of a president's official job. It's meant to let presidents govern decisively, without fear of constant lawsuits or charges. However, this protection isn't unlimited. Presidents are not immune from lawsuits or charges for private actions. The Supreme Court previously granted immunity from civil lawsuits for official acts, but not for private conduct. The recent case asked, can a president face criminal charges for actions taken in office? The debate centers on where to draw the line between official and private acts, a question the courts must answer. Ultimately, presidential immunity is about balancing strong leadership with the principle that no one is above the law. Trump's legal team argued that a president must have total immunity from criminal prosecution for official acts. They claimed this protection was necessary for effective leadership, free from fear of future prosecution. Their defense: only Congress, through impeachment, should hold a president accountable, not the courts. In a controversial moment, Trump's lawyers suggested even extreme actions could be protected unless a president is first impeached and convicted. Critics called this a radical reinterpretation, arguing the founders never intended to create an unaccountable executive. Despite these concerns, Trump's team insisted the Constitution implicitly requires this protection for a functional presidency. The Supreme Court firmly rejected absolute immunity for presidents. The majority opinion drew a line. Presidents are not immune from prosecution for actions outside their official responsibilities. If a president acts as a private citizen or for personal gain, they can be held criminally accountable. The ruling creates a new legal framework. Lower courts must now decide if actions were official or private. Official acts may receive some protection, but private actions do not. The decision empowers the judiciary to check executive power and affirms that impeachment is not the only remedy for misconduct. Future presidents are warned. Their authority has limits, and criminal acts for personal benefit are not protected. The presidency remains an office of public trust, not unchecked power. Legal scholars across the country are calling the Supreme Court's decision one of the most significant and far-reaching in modern American history. The ruling has sparked intense debate and analysis, with many experts weighing in on its potential impact for years to come. Professor Melissa Schwartz of Harvard Law School explains that the ruling is a strong defense of the rule of law, emphasizing that no one, not even the president, is above accountability. She believes this decision sends a clear message that the presidency cannot be used as a shield for criminal behavior, and that the legal system must remain robust and impartial. However, not all experts are satisfied with the outcome. Jonathan Price of the Heritage Foundation warns that the new legal standard will likely spark years of litigation and uncertainty, as courts struggle to define exactly what counts as an official act by a president. He cautions that this ambiguity could lead to a flood of lawsuits and appeals. The line between official and private actions is often blurry, and this uncertainty could make future presidents overly cautious, potentially hindering their ability to govern effectively. Some fear that the threat of legal consequences might discourage decisive leadership. Dr. David Chen of Stanford University notes that the ruling ultimately strengthens the judiciary's oversight of the executive branch, reinforcing the system of checks and balances that is fundamental to American democracy. By drawing a clearer line on presidential power, the decision pushes back against decades of gradual expansion of executive authority, reminding the nation of the importance of constitutional limits. Most legal analysts agree that granting absolute immunity to the president would have risked a constitutional crisis, undermining the very foundation of the separation of powers and the rule of law. Retired Judge Nancy Gertner says the court's decision avoided what some feared could be the end of the republic, preserving the integrity of the nation's legal system and democratic institutions. Now, the responsibility falls to lower courts to apply this new standard fairly and consistently, ensuring that justice is served without political bias or overreach. The nation has managed to avoid the worst-case scenario, but the path forward remains complex and uncertain. Legal experts agree that the coming years will be crucial as the courts, lawmakers, and the public navigate the new legal landscape shaped by this historic decision. The Supreme Court's ruling sent shockwaves through the political landscape, igniting sharply divided reactions from leaders across the spectrum. As news of the decision broke, politicians from both major parties quickly took to the airwaves and social media to voice their opinions, highlighting the deep partisan divide that continues to shape American politics. Democrats hailed the verdict as a major triumph for justice and democracy, emphasizing that the court had reaffirmed the foundational principle that no one, not even the president, is above the law. Many Democratic leaders gathered at press conferences, expressing relief and satisfaction that the judicial system had acted as a crucial check on executive power. Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer addressed reporters, stating that the decision was a victory for the Constitution and that it would help keep the nation's checks and balances strong and effective. In stark contrast, Republican leaders condemned the ruling, describing it as a dangerous and unprecedented attack on the presidency. They argued that the decision could have far-reaching consequences for the office and the country. Speaker Kevin McCarthy warned that the verdict could open the door to endless partisan prosecutions, potentially weakening the presidency for generations to come and undermining the stability of the executive branch. Former President Donald Trump, at a rally with his supporters, denounced the decision as a witch hunt, claiming it was politically motivated and would cripple presidential leadership in the future. Trump's closest allies echoed his sentiments, vowing to fight back against what they saw as judicial overreach. However, not all Republicans agreed. Moderates like Senator Mitt Romney publicly stated that the court had made the correct legal and moral decision, emphasizing the importance of upholding the rule of law. Senator Romney also cautioned that while justice must be served, it is crucial that the process remains impartial and does not devolve into political retribution, warning against deepening the nation's divisions. These sharply contrasting reactions make it clear that while the legal question may be settled, the political battle is only just beginning. The ruling has become a new flashpoint in the ongoing struggle between the parties. The Supreme Court's decision has drawn a bold new line in American politics, intensifying debates in Congress and across the nation about the limits of presidential power and the future of democracy. As journalists, analysts, and citizens continue to debate its meaning and consequences, it's clear that the impact of this ruling will echo for years to come, shaping the nation's political landscape and public discourse. The ruling has immediate consequences for Trump's criminal cases. With absolute immunity rejected, paused federal trials can now resume. Special counsel Jack Smith is expected to push for trial dates quickly. Trump must now defend himself in court like any other citizen. However, each charge will require hearings to determine if the actions were official or private. Trump's team will argue everything was official. Prosecutors will argue otherwise. These hearings could delay trials, and their outcomes will be critical. If an act is ruled official, it may be protected. If private, prosecution proceeds. Appeals are likely, making the process lengthy. The focus now shifts from constitutional questions to the facts of Trump's conduct, setting precedents for the rule of law. The Supreme Court's decision sets a new standard for presidential accountability. Future presidents now know they can be held criminally liable for actions outside their official duties. This will likely change how presidents and advisors approach their authority, encouraging more caution and transparency. Some hope it will lead to a more responsible executive branch. Others fear it could make presidents too timid in crises. The challenge will be acting decisively while respecting legal boundaries. The ruling strengthens the judiciary and Congress as checks on executive power. The presidency remains powerful but no longer untouchable. This decision reshapes the balance between the branches of government. Its impact will unfold over many years and presidencies. The Supreme Court's ruling is a major step, but it doesn't resolve all challenges facing American democracy. The decision gives judges, prosecutors, and presidents new responsibilities to act with integrity. The key question: can the legal and political systems handle this new reality without descending into chaos or political revenge? The ruling reaffirms accountability, but also highlights the fragility of democratic norms. Principles like the peaceful transfer of power and equal justice must be actively defended. The Supreme Court has drawn a line, but the nation's divisions remain. The future of American democracy depends on whether leaders and citizens uphold the rule of law together.